Heyo, so here's forgot to give an update on my MHQ2. So when last you saw it in a video, it had some damage to it. I had just put on the extra long arms and the 6-inch props, and when I went to fly it, it just wobbled. And then when I went to try and tune it, I tuned it the wrong way, and it flipped over and did some damage. I hope you can see it. I hope I'm pointing properly at it. So I've gone ahead and I've rebuilt it, and I fixed the 2 broken arms. I've also reconfigured it. If you look at the previous videos, what you'll see are a couple differences. So the front is on the right with the yellow arms, and the rear is on the blue arms. You'll notice that things have changed. The transmitter, or the receiver, is now on the back. And what I've done is I've put the video transmitter kind of in the middle. It's right there, secured to the underneath the top. I hope you can see that, right? So I was given some advice by a fellow at a flying club a week and a half ago when I was there. So in the previous video you'll see that the video transmitter was hanging off the back and the antenna was just, hanging off the back. Now, one good thing with the receiver antennas on the front and the video transmitter on the back, it was really easy to tell the orientation, and it was really easy to fly. You could always tell what was front and what was back. But he mentioned to me that in a crash, that video transmitter antenna is really vulnerable, and there's a good chance it could just break off. And I looked, and he seemed to be right. So I changed it around, and I'm actually not using the circular polarized antenna anymore either. I only have the one set. I was originally going to just transfer the camera and the video transmitter between this and my Predator, but that's going to be a real pain in the ass. So I put another camera and transmitter onto my Predator, and I'm using the circular polarized on that. And this one I'm just using the original antenna. I don't need a lot of range with this one, so it's not a big deal. One thing though about changing the configuration and moving the GPS forward and doing all of those changes is that the first time I went and flew it, I laid it down, I armed it, I launched it, and when I went to go forward, it moved backwards, and all the controls were messed up. It wasn't flying right at all. So I walked over to it, I picked it up and realized that, oh yeah, it's backwards now. The antennas are reversed. So it took me a while to actually reorientate myself to this and get it flying the right way. So I've got the thing in the middle right there. Hopefully I'm pointing at it. That's the transceiver for my radio system. I decided to go ahead and put that on there. Not a big deal. I'm getting great reception and everything, so everything seems to be working well. So let's fly this thing around with some 6-inch props.
Waypoints received. Battery 11.3 volts. Altitude 0 meters. RS minus 50 decibels. Battery 10.6 volts. Altitude 2 meters. RSSI minus 70 decibels. Battery 10.6 volts. Altitude. RSSI minus.
I hope you can hear that because it just sounds so cool.
GPS to be locked. GPS 3B locked. Battery 10.7 volts. Altitude 2 meters. RSSI minus 80 decibels. Battery 10.6.
So I got to tune it a bit. It doesn't hover quite right. It wobbles a bit when it's hovering.
Minus 55 decibels. Battery 10.7 volts. Altitude 3 meters. RSSI minus 58 decibels. Battery 10.6 volts. Altitude 1 meters. RSSI minus 69 decibels.
So I'm flying in stabilized mode, not acro mode, just because I would never be able to fly it.
Battery 10.1 volts. Altitude 3 meters. RSSI minus 65 decibels.
What's my battery at? I don't even know. I haven't been listening.
Battery
10.3 volts.
Altitude 0 meters. RS gas on minus 50 for decibels. Battery 10.0 volts. Altitude 3 meters. RS gas on minus 73 decibels. Battery 10.1 volts. Altitude 1 meter.
I'm still having a hard time keeping it flat,
Minus 70 decibels.
but that's just my skills. It's got nothing to do with the MHQ2.
Battery 10.2 volts.
Well, we got some gnarly clouds coming in, eh?
0 meters. RS gas on minus 72 decibels. Battery 10.1 volts. Altitude minus 1 meters. RS gas on minus 76 decibels. Battery 10.0 volts.
Oh, time to land. So there it is, the MHQ2 3D printed quadcopter. This thing is so much fun. Oh God, I love it. So my little cap on here does fairly well in keeping the barometer safe, but it's not perfect. So I might just go ahead and put a little bit of foam in there anyways, just you know, to make sure that I'm getting the best altitude I can. You know, I don't really need, you know, for an FPV racer, you don't need a lot of the, you don't need the GPS, you don't need altitude, and well, actually, maybe you do need the altitude for the goggles. I haven't really done any FPV though. Now you notice this is broken. That's not from this. This is actually a transmitter. The receiver was originally on my Predator that went through a major crash, and this caused a problem. And there's a slight break in the line there too, and it really reduced the range. And so I decided to put that receiver on here and the brand new one that was on here, my Predator. And so yeah, I don't need a huge range on this thing, so it's fine. And my Predator has all the range I ever need on it. Trust me on that. I've already lost sight of it a couple times on automated missions when it's gotten about 700 meters away from me. So this is a lot of fun, and there it is. The MHQ2 3D printed quadcopter from Hovership. So much fun. So much fun. All right, well, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.